Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you guys are watching this video. I hope you guys are having a good day, but I don't know if you guys just saw the truck getting washed. You may have seen it get washed, you may not have seen it get washed. Maybe you'll see it get washed later. I don't even know if I'll put it in this video, but I washed the truck today, and then family came over, we went to dinner, had a great time. After that, went and got some dessert and went bowling. It was an amazing time, had a great time. Definitely ended the night on a good night. Well, so I thought. We came home to drive the Cobra and have some fun to really end the night, you know, because I haven't driven in a while. Wanted to get some footage for you guys. And literally, as we got to the spot where we're gonna race and start filming, the Cobra, like as we're pulling up, starts just steaming its face off. I smell coolant and I'm like, man, what is going on? Everything was good. We're just driving on the highway. The car's fine. We should be fine. I don't know. Look at coolant temps. Coolant temps are fine, they're like 200 degrees. It is a little warm considering how cold it is outside, but it wasn't pushing coolant out of the radiator cap. So that's typically what you see when a car's overheating, but it was somehow spitting coolant out somewhere. So we're gonna take it apart and see if we can figure it out. I let the car sit and cool almost completely down to like 110 degrees, 120 degrees, and I rushed home. And actually on the way home, it didn't seem to leak anything and didn't get hotter than 190 something, I think 196 degrees, going all the way uphill, all the way back to my house. So the fact that it didn't overheat there is kind of crazy, but let's go ahead and jump into this and see what we can find. Obviously at first you guys will notice, you can see there's coolant spit around there, right? If it was leaking out of this coolant cap, it would have been spitting it over here. You know, it's over here, and you can see actually in this area, it's kind of hard to see, there's like a foam insert in there, and that foam is just completely soaked with coolant. So let's go ahead and get this cover off, and then we'll get back to it. Look at all that green in the radiator. See all that over there? And if you come over here, this is where I think it's leaking from. Look at how heavy it is all throughout there. There's coolant just spit all on the outside of the radiator, and what's weird is I can't tell where it's coming from legitimately. You can see it sprayed out here, and I mean, how else is coolant gonna get out here, especially with the fan sucking inwards when the fan was on? I just don't get how coolant's gonna get out here unless it's being forced out of the radiator. So I think what we're gonna do is just see if we can dig a little deeper. So anyways, it's pretty late, so I don't know if we're gonna go into super detail trying to find this, because what I may end up doing, because of that coolant being there, if I can't find the spot, we're gonna take it out, hit it with a hose, and then fire it up and see if we can see where it's coming from, or where the green is coming from. I mean, I just can't figure it out, guys. I really truly think it's the radiator, and what I think happened is a rock came in through here and smacked it somewhere. And you can see this is some plastic stuff. That's nothing crazy, but you know, I think something just flew straight through here and smacked the radiator and made it leak. Maybe not on the front side, maybe it's the back side. I mean, I don't have a clue, guys. I can't tell. Let's go ahead and pop the radiator cap and see how low that is, because I haven't done that yet. Maybe it'll start leaking after we do this as well. You guys can see it's got that nice green. Where's the level? You can see where it is. It's definitely low. So I think what I'm gonna do is put a little water in here and see if we can get it to leak again. Oh, and also I wanted to tell you guys, or show you guys, it's not the reservoir for the coolant expansion tank. You obviously can see that it's not very green. Not at least like, this is neon green, guys. This is like crazy neon green. This is like very light green, almost watery. So obviously we know it's from here because the level's low. So comment down below if you guys know what it is. If you think you know what it is, I'd be curious to see, because at this point, at this moment, I don't know what it is. We will find out, obviously. I'm 90% sure it's the radiator, because it's all throughout the radiator. The only way you get coolant in all the crevices of the radiator like that is if you got a leak in there and then it just kind of moves its way down. Typically, that's just the way you see it, is exactly how this looks. In my experience, that's what's given me that gut feeling it's a radiator. Shoot, guys, I didn't even see this till just now. If you look on the expansion tank, you can see that the powder coat right there is cracked, and I don't know if you guys can see, but down underneath that has a big, you can see it's separated along the weld. I'm almost wondering now if the tank cracked under pressure and it's been leaking out of there. We're gonna go ahead and pull the radiator expansion tank right now and see if it is in fact leaking from there. I actually think that's what happened, guys. I think it split on the weld on this tank, which is kind of crazy because you'd think it'd blow a hose off or push this cap, but look at that. You guys can see that it literally split right along that edge, and that's right on the weld, and that's right where the coolant was coming from. I just couldn't find it. That's kind of crazy. The one thing that gave it away is this ripple in the powder coat, and you could see it you know, wants to kind of flake off. So that is a split in the tank, guys, right there. Insane. That is pretty crazy. And I posted saying radiator disease because I was like 90% sure it was a radiator issue. And this is just, you know, the world we live in. Obviously it's not a radiator issue. It's an expansion tank issue. And the expansion tank expanded so much it blew its own welds. I'm hoping it's a fluke and the tank was just kind of defective. I think what we're going to try and do, guys, is just take the tank, rough up the powder coat, get it off away from it, clean it up, and then just re-hit it with a torch, a TIG torch, and re-weld it and just smooth it back out, and hopefully that'll fix it. Alright, what up, you guys? It's the next day, so we're coming back into this. We're going to open the garage here, we're going to pull the car out, we're going to clean the radiator out, because that's something I want to do now that we know where the leak is. And obviously it's not coming from the radiator, so we want to get all that coolant blown out of there, cleaned up away, and then after that we can pull the radiator cap or radiator tank off, and then once the radiator tank's off, we'll take it down, weld it up, and do all that stuff. So we're just going to get the car out of the garage and get it pressure washed and all cleaned up so that coolant's not sitting on it, and then it'll be ready to get the tank fixed. Time to blow all that crap out of there. Alright, so it looks pretty good. I think we got most of it out. Obviously, you guys saw I went over it quite a bit because I wanted to make sure we got all that coolant out of there. I wanted no coolant left in here, and I also wanted to have just a beautiful clean engine bay. So I sprayed some areas you guys could see, like over here and the lock and stuff. This stuff that's usually covered up gets kind of dusty, so I figured it was a good time to go ahead and do that. Make sure it's all good, and then we're going to be pulling off the expansion tank, which is, we're going to lose a little bit of coolant. We're going to get a little bit more of a mess, so I may actually do that out here, and then after I do that out here, we'll go ahead and clean it up and then pull the car in. So okay, guys, I know it's a little bit dark out here, but we went ahead and we put this guy on loosely. I may even put him on all the way. I did want to get a new hose. You can see that nipple right there. This guy right here, we want to get a hose that comes off of there and goes up to this guy right here. So what we're going to try and do is go to AutoZone right now. I'm going to take the hose that I just took off to replace it. That way we can get this set up again on the stock expansion tank. And that way we can test and see if the car has a bad head gasket. I don't think it does. I think the problem we were having was I made a mistake with this one over here, and that mistake that I made was, and I didn't realize it until, you know, not too long ago, is if you can see, this has got a port right here. This port is supposed to go, just have a nipple and basically come off and go down to nothing. Well, what my dumb face did is I took this and I had it plugged, took the nipple out and plugged it while we were getting it powder coated, and then I forgot to take this plug back out and put the nipple back in it, and it didn't even click. I just thought, oh, it'll just spit out around this radiator cap. The way that these radiator caps work on these old school style ones is they have to actually lift. When they lift, the spring you can see is in the cap, and so this guy will literally lift up towards the cap, and then that'll allow air to get out and out of that hole, because it seals along the inside of that rim right there. So by blocking that off, I'm not allowing any coolant to slip by this. So there's no way for the system to actually bleed off excess pressure. So what I think happened is, when it got really cold like this, after sitting for a while, it definitely got some air sucked in. It'll suck its way into the tank or pull air to equalize the pressure, get rid of that vacuum. And when that happens, from the car sitting, now we have this really nice cold dense air all up in here, and when the car gets hot like it was on that night, it's a really cold night, and then we go and drive the car and get it hot. The problem is this air gets really expanded, really pressurized, and then it has nowhere to escape, because it should be able to escape outside that cap, but I'm not allowing it, so then it just ends up blowing out the weld like it did here. Funny thing is, that night I was like, I should take this radiator cap off and look, and I probably would have noticed that had I done that, because I literally put this guy on and never thought twice about it, didn't even think about it, didn't come to my mind. The reason is, the factory style radiator cap allows it to bleed up and out around the cap, but this one requires obviously that guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull all the stuff inside, pull the car inside. We're gonna take that small hose, go to AutoZone, see if we can get one long enough just to go back to factory like it was, and then I'm also, I think, maybe get some coolant there. I may have some here, so I'm gonna check, but either way, we're gonna go run and do that. So let me clean up the garage, and then we'll jump in the truck and go to AutoZone. Alrighty guys, so we got the hose. They didn't have a pre-bent hose. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just depends on the luck of the draw. So we just ended up getting 2 feet of the same size hose. And yeah, so we're gonna actually go to the gym first and then get back and jump on this project, because I need to go to the gym, get in shape before my wedding day, which is approaching awfully quickly. So we're gonna try and do that, but I'll see you guys after the gym. Alrighty guys, we just got out of the gym. I feel good and sore. We did legs. Legs always suck, but I guess if you're gonna get back into the gym, it's, you know, might as well get it out, done the first day. We're gonna go ahead and take our new hose and new hose clamps. We're gonna put this on. We're gonna also cut it to length so we know it's the right length and get it on here. I'd almost rather be able to reuse this hose later on for something else, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Ta-da! Okay, so there you guys go. You can see that hose is on there. Comes up. I ran it underneath there so it couldn't go anywhere. Comes around to right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my 3 nuts on here, and then we're gonna fill this guy up and see if it works. Alright boys, we're just gonna be putting some of this, I don't know, green coolant that I got here. I don't even know what it is. There you go guys, we got it open. Alright guys, let's go drive this piece. Hopefully we don't have a bad head gasket. Alright guys, so it was steaming a bit up front. I'm hoping it was just burning off some water. There's still a little steam coming off. Temps are 200 right now. If they start creeping pretty hard, we're gonna have to make a change. So this stop and go traffic sucks. Went down to 200, so that's a good sign. The steam seems to have stopped, which I'm hoping is a good sign. 196, that's great. 194, awesome, awesome. Whew, had me a little worried. 192, seems to be going down really quickly, which means our radiator's doing work. 190, whew. 188, dang. Alright guys, so it seems like it's doing alright. I mean, I haven't checked under the hood yet. We also haven't made a hit yet, but temperatures are under control, which usually if you have a bad head gasket, temperatures will kind of get a little bit crazy, get a little out of hand. Temps are acting totally normal in my opinion. You can see right now, we've had the car running consistently and they're at 190 degrees, so you know, that's not bad at all. Intake temps downstream are 100. So yeah, we're not doing too bad, We definitely need some fuels though. Running low on fuel. All right guys, we just made it back to the shop. House, shop, same thing. Pulled into the garage after making a little hit. 202, fan kicked on, so it's gonna cool it down some, and we'll wait a little bit, let it cool down to about 194, 196. That way, you know, the engine's not super hot when we go to shut it off right now, which will be good, right? And then we're gonna obviously check it for leaks. I think we have fixed the problem. Which is a good thing, guys, because I was kind of worried that it could have a bad head gasket, but at the same time, I was in the zone or in the mindset of like, man, this thing can't have a bad head gasket. If it did, it should have shown itself sooner. I'm very happy. You guys aren't gonna see in this video us fixing this catch can or this expansion tank. This expansion tank's gonna have to get fixed in the next video, but as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Our next video I think is going to be something to do with trucks, because they just announced the 2020 F-250, so I want to do a little topic on that, cover that a little bit. But thank you guys for watching. As always, keep wrenching on your own cars, keep kicking butt, you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. But it's time for you guys to get the heck out of here, and you can tell because the garage said so too.